if Ruto agrees to take the deported Somalis into Kenya?
If President John Mahama agree to take these deported Somalians into Ghana, we are also going to go to the streets, of course. I agree with you, my sister. And you know, sometimes I say that you need to live the African experience to understand certain things. Now we hear what is happening in Minnesota, and we are not even saying that Trump is right or wrong. That is not what some of us are even talking about. But we are thinking, or we are watching how you are coming online and trolling black Americans and trolling and making fun of whatever is happening. And you have some Africans supporting you to do whatever you are doing. Now they are deporting you. Now they are tracing your IP addresses because you said Minnesota was promised to you 3,000 years ago. We come online to do live streams and we tell you to stop, because if you don't stop, it will affect you and it will affect a lot of Africans. Now it is even affecting Ethiopians. How dare you go to somebody's country? You have some of these diasporans supporting you. At the end of the day, these people are black Americans. They will not be deported. You will be deported. So to those of you giving these people the energy and the engine to keep doing whatever they are doing, you see that they are supporting them. So do you think you are helping them or you are destroying them? And I don't even understand why is that when people are being deported, their own country doesn't want to accept them. If your own country doesn't want to accept you, why should another country accept you? President John Mahama, share no one yes I mistake we. Somebody who will come to my platform and call me a monkey. I guess I'm a nice monkey then. You see, they are deporting you. And now they are looking for African countries to actually really accept you. I am not saying that all Somalis, I am not saying that all the communities are doing it. But what you are doing on this app and what you are doing on this internet, you even say you don't need our help. So which means we cannot even speak. But at the end of the day, when they deport you, you are coming to our countries. This is not acceptable. If you're Somali and then you are listening. And I know they will come to this video in the comment with their shenanigans. You understand? So if you're a Ghanaian, please listen. Be careful. Let's keep watching and let's keep talking. If they don't know, because I've stopped, I'm not even going live about Somalians again, because they will come and insult me, they will come and call me monkey, they will come and call me weak. You see, and this is what I say, you are only tough online, but when the law catches with you, then you will know where you are going to be. You are here calling people Jarel, and it is affecting almost all the Africans. And some of us, the sensible ones, when we are talking, you come and insult us. But I don't blame you. You have some black Americans, you have some Caribbean people who will support you. We are all Africans. At the end of the day, you are going to be deported, and we are going to feel the heat. You understand what I'm saying? A word to a white is enough.
Is she originally from Somalia? So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country.
What's up, guys? So welcome to this YouTube channel, and I thank you for always coming to look at what is trending. So this is a channel whereby we give you trending news and we discuss on whatever is trending, especially the viral videos that have been going all over the internet. So today I want us to look at the deportation of the Somalis. So in recent deportation of Somali nationals from the United States under the Trump administration, it has raised questions after reports have emerged that some of those who are removed, they were sent to Somalia, but in contrary they end up in neighboring countries like Kenya, and especially in Kenya. So most of those who have been deported, they end up in Kenya. So while the deportations have been presented as a straightforward enforcement of the US immigration law, the outcome reveals a complex process which is shaped by security concerns, diplomatic constraints, and even regional politics. Somalia, which is a country in East Africa, is undergoing through a long process of instability, political instability, and this has made it very difficult for direct deportations. So the ongoing conflict, which has been a limiting factor, and safety concerns have often complicated the return of the deportees back to their homeland, which is Somalia. And in such a case, so the US authorities have relied on alternative destinations, including third countries willing or able to receive deportees. So Kenya has increasingly played that role. So the country, which is Kenya, hosts one of the world's largest Somali populations outside Somalia, including refugees, asylum seekers, and long-established diaspora communities. So it is a geographical proximity and existing infrastructure have made it a frequent stop for Somalis who are unable to be returned directly to their country of origin. However, officials in Kenya are now complaining. They have repeatedly warned that the country is already under significant strain from hosting large refugees populations.
President Trump wins big on President Ruto of Kenya. President Ruto may go back home with goodies with about 1.6 or thereabout $1 billion from US after his visit. That was meant to go ahead and witness the signing of that peace agreement with Congo and its regions. However, one wonders what was the connection between Kenya and Congo. Congo is in way back from where it does a neighbor Kenya too. In any case, Uganda Museveni, who has forces in Congo, would have been the ideal guy to go and officiate that signing of that agreement. So Trump wins big time in the sense that, Trump has been on this immigration conundrum. He's promised to go ahead and put restrictions on 19 countries that on their visas, on their entries, and he's also promised to review the documents that were submitted for the applications going way back to 2021. The proclamation that was done around June of 2025, but was also made official by USCIS, that's the unit in the US that reviews the cases for immigrants, both visas and asylum seekers. So having said that, remember, Somalia, Sudan, and Congo are in that list of the 19 countries which have been designated as suspect countries that don't have that could have had fraudulent documents for the citizens to come to the US. And knowing that Somalia doesn't have a functional government, most of them use Kenya as their conduit to get to the US. In any case, everybody understands that back in early 80s, we had these big camps in northeastern, the Kakuna, and there's also this other one called Dadaab. And most Somalis gained refugee status from there, and they moved to the US. And most of them, because Somalia doesn't have a designated government or systems, they flew out of Nairobi to the US. So, and now, remember, Trump is also having this fight with Somalis who are in Minnesota because of these fraudulent cases of chiffoning money out of the US. The pretenses are the cases that have been established that were not real, like food stamps, autism, school feeding programs. All that money which was meant for good intents was not meant for that, and that money has been chiffoned. And I think it's been said that it's gone all the way to Somalia for terrorism. Now, let's think. Ruto has been very, very cozy with Somalia. Kenya has open borders with Somalia, which means there's free flow of Somalians to Kenya. What does that put Trump? That put Trump in a very, very dangerous position, because if Kenya is opening that door to a government that's full of bad guys to Kenya, and who can get Kenyan documents and fly out of Kenya to places like the US, then he's not doing what he's supposed to do. So he had to come up with this good idea of inviting Ruto to Washington and present a case to him. Because if he has to deport Somalis from Minnesota, where else can they go without a factional government in Somalia? So he's going to use Kenya. And Ruto also must have surrendered all the documents that he has of Somalians who flew out of Kenya, so that America could use that for their scrutiny. They can compare what they submitted and what they submitted in Nairobi, and they can look for any discrepancies. So Ruto did not just get money or goodies for no reason. At the same time, he's also going to open Kenyan health information for Kenyans for the next 5 years, so that American pharmaceuticals and companies here can use that data to generate, to project the kind of medicine that they're gonna prescribe to Africans, because Africa is the highest growing population right now. So they see in the future, if these pharmaceuticals have to stay in businesses, then they have to target the population that's going. So maybe about population growth, about fixing the common problems, or even prescribing medicine that they think could be able to sell in Africa. So there's so much that Ruto gave in that's not documented. It's always in fine print for him to get those goodies. But and again, America also knows Ruto is having political problems in the country, so it's easy to use him.
Something has happened in Minnesota, US. It almost sounds like Minnesota. Anyway, you get it. Somalis from Somaliland have been caught by mkono mrefu wa Trump, defrauding the US government, faking documents, medical aid, saying their kids are autistic, faking all the stuff, siphoning money from there, billions in trillions of US dollars, and kumbe they have been funding Al-Shabaab activities. Some of these monies is being traced all the way to Somalis in Kenya. This would explain, and this is true, why we've always wondered where these guys get their wealth from, why they are always working with dollars, unexplainable monies, and how they have a way of always just getting legit documentation and Kenyan passports and IDs because of compromising the system. His Excellency Natembeya was the first leader to raise the issues of our immigration system and how they are being compromised by the Somalis from Somalia. I remember the first video I did, I got a lot of DMs by Kenyan born and raised Somalis, our citizens, and how they are unable to even access or even get IDs because they don't have resources of these guys that come from Somalia and compromise the system. Let me tell you why it's dangerous for us as Kenya. First and foremost, this is becoming a very big issue in the US. What is happening in Minnesota is trailing back all the way to Kenya. Our passport will continue to be weakened. We are going to be identified as a country that harbors and encourages money laundering in this country by those guys all the way from Minnesota. And so that will be bad for business for us.
Anything, they just run around killing each other. There's no structure. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point.
Trump has launched a scathing attack against Somalis in Minnesota. He said that the Somalis in Minnesota contribute nothing. He said 88% of them receive benefits and they contribute nothing. He said that all they do is complain. He said that the Somalis in America are garbage. He said Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman, was garbage. He said that he doesn't want Somalis in his country. And this is actually quite dangerous for people who are Somali, because ICE agents have been sent to deport people who are Somalis, irrespective of whether they have documents, whether they're law-abiding citizens. It doesn't matter, because ICE agents are looking for anybody that is Somali and they are being deported. He said he is going to deport them back to Somalia because he said that all they do is complain. And I didn't realize complaining was against the law. So he said all the Somalis do is complain, and he doesn't want them in his country. He said that some people are going to view that as not politically correct. Yeah, that's my Kikuyu accent coming out. So he said that people might think that what he's saying is not politically correct, but he said that he doesn't care. All he wants is to get rid of the Somalis. Now, Africans are in peril in the United States of America. Now, if you haven't already made arrangements for what would happen if you were to get sent back home, I would suggest if you go to property, you start selling it and you start making your exit plan, because America is going to get very, very dangerous. The way those ICE agents have been arresting people is actually very distressing. Children in schools, even white children and black children and Mexican children and Hispanic children, are all terrified because these ICE agents are just coming out of nowhere, beating up people, grabbing them, and then just deporting them. Some people, like there's an American guy I saw who was deported to like Venezuela, and he's not even from Venezuela. They're just deporting you to any country. So if you are African, just start making arrangements for you to leave the United States of America. This is not a dream.
No, every Somali is a Kenyan Somali. Get your IDs. There's no discrimination. Get your IDs. You can be 60-year-old, you can be 50-year-old, you can be 20-year-old. Get your IDs. Forget about your tribe and where you have come from. In the past, there are particular communities that were listed as Kenyan Somalis. No, every Somali is a Kenyan Somali.
Major breaking news. There is a great tension between Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia after a Somalia US-based Congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, went ahead and claimed that Ethiopia and Kenya had stole part of their land, of the Somaliland. You won't believe this. Specifically in Kenya is northeastern part of Kenya, which is made up of Mandera, Moyale, Wajir, Isiolo, Garissa. You can name it all. That part belongs to Somalia. You won't believe this. And she went ahead and said, one day Somalia will wake up, liberate, and take their land back. You won't believe this. And this particular claim has literally brought a controversial tension online, whereby a lot of Kenyans, a lot of Ethiopians are throwing backlashes on her. And let me tell you, all this particular tension started when the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, went ahead and said that the Somalians who are living in the United States, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, contributes nothing to the United States. They need to go back to their nation, Somalia, that stinks. He went ahead and even said that Somalians are garbage. You won't believe this. And this is the reason as to why Ilhan Omar has actually come out claiming that part of their land was stolen by Kenya and Ethiopia. So we literally don't know what will happen. It has been forth and back online. Let's keep on.
They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that.
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abet terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
Guys, you can see Kenyans reacting to this issue of Somalis who have been deported elsewhere in Minnesota or from the US coming to their country. So they are giving reasons as to even why they fear these Somalis getting into their country. Like they fear the US is gonna tighten the rules for Kenyans getting visas. Even the Kenyans themselves, they fear these Somalis because in the past we have had issues of insecurity, whereby even the Somalis used to hijack the ships, and even the Kenyan government had to go to Somalia to calm down the situation. So Kenyans are also saying that the Kenyan economy is already struggling. There is no employment. Even the cost of living is so high. So, and also there are a lot of refugees in the country. So this is going to make the situation worse. So those are some of the reasons they are giving. And I would like you to also give your views, whether you are in support of the Somalis coming to Kenya instead of going to their country, and if you understand or you agree with the fact that because their country, the leadership is not well developed or well organized, that is the reason why it is difficulty for the deported Somalis to go directly to their country. So thank you for watching, and kindly remember to subscribe and also comment, give your view down below. We'll see you in the next episode.